Now, from the floor of the Senate, and also in an open letter, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, he called on Rupert Murdoch, that owns Fox, to silence Tucker Carlson. And guess what? It happened. They fired him. They hate the fact that Elon Musk, who is, by the way, a very strong proponent of the First Amendment, they hate that he bought Twitter. What's immediately what they said? They said, oh, it's going to be covered up with the N-word and racial epithets. Finally, Republicans and conservatives can say whatever they want to say. And that hasn't happened, by the way. But they said that when Elon bought it, they said, oh, now everybody gets to use the N-word. They can quote the Second Amendment. They've been coming after your guns for years. We don't know if this thing this past weekend was a false flag event. It has all the earmarks of it. All the earmarks of it. I'm not going to say that it is, but I'm just telling you, there's a lot of damn suspicious stuff. And it's funny how whenever election time comes around, campaigns start getting announced, suddenly certain rhetoric starts popping up and more violence publicly starts to happen with guns, particularly AR-15s. Now, they've been coming after your guns for years, fighting against the Second Amendment. Oh, they're not going to eradicate their security details, but they're going to get rid of your guns. They can quote the Sixth Amendment, but they had 2 phony impeachment trials without allowing Donald Trump's team to even confront his accusers. And then Alvin Bragg, that DA in New York, he knows the Sixth Amendment. But I guarantee you that guy will not move Donald Trump's trial out of Manhattan into a place where he has a chance of facing an impartial jury. That's guaranteed in the Sixth Amendment, but they won't live up to it. Now, the only way that our Constitution is even worth the paper it's written on is when you and all of our leaders on both sides, Republican and Democrat, whoever they may be, whenever they accept it as the foundation upon which everything else rests. It's the only way. Albert Einstein said the strength of the Constitution lies entirely in the determination of each citizen to defend it. And only if every single citizen feels duty-bound to do his share in this defense are the constitutional rights secure. It's not secure. Now, we've had the Constitution in place in our country for 233 years. The anniversary is this month. But the only reason we've had it is because we've had the ability for the majority of our citizens who have moral character and who are loyal to the document have upheld it. Now, I'm afraid we're about to change all that. Now, let me read some stuff from the Constitution to you, okay? Let me just give you some stuff from the Constitution. You ready? Fundamental human rights and freedoms are inalienable and shall be enjoyed by everyone since the day of birth. Everyone shall be guaranteed the freedom of conscience, the freedom of religion. Everyone shall be guaranteed the freedom of ideas and speech. Censorship shall be banned. The right of private property shall be protected by law. Doesn't that sound good? That's constitutional. Only problem is that's Russia. That's Russia's constitution. Now, they say it, but they don't believe it. How about this? Let me read this from the Constitution. The political system of the state shall be based on the principle of political pluralism and exercising power democratically through the ballot box. Society shall be based on the basis of freedom, equality, and maintenance of human dignity of every individual. The state shall provide women with all opportunities, enabling them to effectively and fully contribute to the political, economic, social, and cultural life. Doesn't that sound good? Yeah, that's Syria. That's Syria. They say it, but they don't believe it, and they don't do it. All right, let's do this. The principle governing us, the government of the people, by the people, and for the people, national sovereignty belongs to the people who shall exercise it directly by way of referendum or through their representatives. Sounds great. That's Rwanda. I saw somebody get stoned in Rwanda. And I don't mean with weed, I mean murdered. Yeah. Here's another one. Invoking the protection of God in a just, federal, and decentralized state that embodies the values of freedom, independence, peace, solidarity, and the common good, holds as superior values of its legal order and actions those of life, liberty, justice, equality, solidarity, democracy, social responsibility, and in general the preeminence of human rights, ethics, and political pluralism. Woo! I like it. Let's do that. Oh, wait, that's Venezuela. Yeah. Now, they're eating their dogs. There's no human rights there. How about this? Sovereignty resides non-transferably with the people, from which all the state's power emanates. The people exercise this power directly and via assemblies of people's power and other organs of the state. I love that one too, actually. That's Cuba. That's Cuba. Now, these corrupt governments, these tyrannical governments I just listed, their constitutions say the right things, but they don't do them. That's just window dressing. It's just words. It doesn't count for anything. Now, Abraham Lincoln said, "We the people are the rightful masters of both Congress and the courts, not to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow the men who pervert the Constitution." Now, listen to what he said. He said, "It's not our place to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow the men who pervert the Constitution." I'm going to say it one more time because you ain't listening. He said it's not to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow the men who pervert the Constitution. Overthrow the men who pervert the Constitution. Now, I just told you, they're not living up to your constitutional rights. And so when I say words like secession or Convention of States or 10th Amendment or anything like that, people say, "Oh, you're a traitor. You are a traitor. Sedition." No, not to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow the men who pervert the Constitution. That is your duty as a patriot.